Did you find God when you ran away? Did you cross the river out to the bay? Did you try to make it to the other side? Did you look in the mirror and question why? We're talking loudly to fallen strangers we're casting.
We met each other in Jazz Pizza Express in JLT at one of ABBA's nights. I think every musician in Dubai will know who ABBA is. And Thomas and I, we used to go there, and Scott did quite a while before we did also. We went to those open mics, and we were playing on our own. Scott was playing on his own. And then one day we just saw each other perform, and Scott, we just went outside for a cigarette and just started speaking. And then we just pretty much met the next day, and we just started writing the day after we had ever met, which I think was kind of what formed us to make a band, because straight away, I think a few days after we had met, we had written 3 songs or something.
It was yeah, because the day after we met, you came over, and I kind of forced a melody upon what you had for Wild Thoughts.
Yeah.
And then after a few more days, we'd taken one of my own songs and just changed it for like a band, and then we've written Don't Lie to Me as well. Yeah, so we'd never really played any covers. I think we only played Skinny Love by Bon Iver, which was like the only cover we ever did. And pretty quick, the week later, we went to do an open mic, and we were straight away performing originals. And I think because of that, we just started to get into the flow and just formed as a band. But we were just so focused on writing our own music. And you know, before you knew it, then you had like 5-6 songs, and okay, let's come up with a band name. You come up with a band name, and then we recorded an EP. And then before you knew it, we were a band, and we'd perform a lot together live. But I think the approach to always write our own music was what really formed us to be a band. It was purely like we all had the same intention of we want to write just pure original music. We don't want to be like a cover band, like a talk from like the first day.
Yeah.
We're just like, no, we're not cover people already.
The dynamic also, Lucas and me never had the strongest of voices. We don't have those lungs that Scott has.
Okay, man.
And then it was just a nice little fit, because Scott has a strong voice, and it also just combined quite well because we could focus more on music, doing the music, and we now had a singer, and all 3 of us writing together, just bonded quite quickly.
I remember that really well, because we'd written the 3 songs in like a week. We'd had their birthday party on like a Friday night, and the Saturday we were just hanging out again, and we had like finished off those 3 songs, and we said, like, should we just be a band? Sat in that room, came up with a name, and then we were like, okay, let's rehearse, because we're gonna play tomorrow night. And I distinctly remember like thrusting that upon you more, like, we're gonna play tomorrow night, because I've always been quite confident. Like, I'll just do it.
Confident guy.
Yeah. But then we just went and played, and I remember you, like, we were all really nervous, because I genuinely, it's more excitement than nerves, but like the first time we played as a band was like, I'd only done like one band thing before, like, and it was really small, so it was very, I think I was nervous because I felt so good about it. Like, there was something already good to it, and I was like, I really hope people like this, because I really like this. It's been a week, but it was nervous, but it went down really well with everyone at the open mics.
Yeah.
So.
Where was it?
It was at Jazz Pizza Express in JLT for ABBA's open mic. The same one we met at.
The same one we met at the week later.
We played with 2 originals and a cover.
Yeah.
What was the first song you played?
Skinny Love.
I think it was Skinny. No. We did Wild Thoughts first.
Okay.
Then we played Skinny Love, and then we finished with Don't Lie to Me. And Don't Lie to Me was like the clincher. In a certain regard.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song so far?
The D-Man.
Yeah, probably the D-Man.
Yeah.
I'd still
Just keep
say
coming back to the
I'd still say Cigarettes.
Cigarettes and Minarets is also
it's
extremely...
like, well, it's like the more I think everyone always has like, they like one more upbeat song, like one down, so you always kind of have two. So it'd probably be D-Man and Cigarettes and Minarets, I think.
Like Don't Lie to Me is one of the first songs we ever wrote, but that's the one that always works live. Like that's the song we'll close with.
That's fair.
But like with arrangement, the D-Man would be our favourite. Cigarettes and Minarets, with the whole like, that's the main song on our album, but with the whole like full product that makes us really proud because the recording sounds great. Yeah. And it's just got a really good chorus. So we think that song could hopefully do things for us. So they all like have their special moments. Lyrically, it's Sydney calling, you know.
To be fair, it's always like you can like live as well. Live, Don't Lie to Me for me is like the funnest song. Yeah. Ending on just like a really pumpy, fun song that I'm literally just trying to make as many people in the room dance to as possible. Yeah. And if it doesn't happen, then it's just embarrassing. But it's quite works. It usually works.
It's always a risk.
There's been times though where it's just like, okay, I'll just stay with
We usually signal to each other on stage, like we're looking like, you know, if there's 100 people, 200 people, like, okay, we can get this, you got this, Scott. Yeah. We played this gig the other day, which was just a friend of ours. He has like a house and he like puts people down, and people started singing for the set, and then like the last song, one of the last songs was Don't Lie to Me, and Scott had to be like, you kind of have to get up.
I was so awkward, just like, I like this shitting, but please stand up or this will look
It's always good if you have like a friend, like a Wayne in the crowd.
Yeah, Wayne.
Because he'll dance like a crazy dude if you ask him to, and once that first person does it, the other people in the crowd are a bit more.
It's nice because it kind of like with a few friends there, it does just tend to give like everyone else their permission to do the same, which is kind of really cool. If there's one person that's a stranger and starts dancing, then I'm like, okay.
One thing we did achieve though is to get people at the Dubai Opera to dance. that was the goal.
Yeah, that was probably.
And a big fan of Frank was to our older brother and his girlfriend, because we were fortunate to support Mochiba at the opera, right? You're performing, and I was like, okay, we're gonna hit them with our pumpy songs, right?
Oh shit! This is a full seated venue. Like, I don't know the dynamic of this. Like, are people gonna get up and dance if I ask? And in the end, I'm just going to do it like I usually do. I've done it in smaller places. And I just went, okay, the last one, we got to dance. Like, it would be nice if like you wanted to get up and like have fun, like get in the aisles, up in your chair, whatever. And it was their brother, Sam, and his girlfriend, Candace, that just got, well, it wasn't even Sam, it was Candace that got up because she was like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then like eventually like people just started getting up and it just, the whole place was up by the end and it was sick. Just everyone was clapping along, dancing, like having a good time, which is the goal of that song.
Yeah.
It's just...
It would have just been painful.
Yeah, it would have been so painful.
But it's cool. Yeah. You've got to take the risk, right? For success. The big one was when we were asked to support Lionel Richie. That was cool. Because from playing to 50 people, we played for 20,000, which was amazing, you know?
What's up? How's life? I'm shitting my pants. In a good way though. And he's not finished.
This one's called Fables. You're living in a hideaway, seeking innocence, talking fables to yourself, only known to regress.
in some way that was like a big one.
That was nuts. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it
that was probably our big first.
That was the big first.
Just
like,
prior to that was probably the EP launch when.
The EP launch was like up there as well, because the EP launch was just. I actually would say like Lionel Richie was incredible, but I would actually say the EP launch was like the first and maybe even like, for me anyway, bigger than Lionel Richie in its certain degree. Like, because Lionel Richie was amazing. You have 25,000 people, but 25,000 of those people like don't know who you are.
They came for Lionel Richie.
They came for Lionel Richie.
Years, so I guess you can't get ahead of yourself.
We're here for Lionel Richie. We really fancied a beer after the F1, and we have tickets to this concert. Like, those are the people that are there. Whereas after like 7 months of being a band, we had like, I don't know, 300 maybe people in a pizza restaurant just like going for it with us on 2 guitars and a wooden box. Like, when I look back at the footage, that's still like probably one of the things that really like jumps out at me, like, shit, people actually like it, or they wouldn't act like that, I don't think. Like, you know, it's like, I look, there's even our friends are standing there and they're just going nuts at it, and I'm like, yeah, cool.
Again, you're the support act, so it's tough to like say it was a big success, but it was a great opportunity. So we supported Elton John at the Autism Rocks Arena, and then New and Falcon at Jazz Pizza Express was cool. And then probably one of the best gigs we've had is Mochiba at the Dubai Opera. That was just like, it just went so well.
Yeah, it went really well.
That's the first time we got it.
And then, you know, I think a big thing now for us is our album. We recorded it now in Germany. And we put a lot of work into that, and I think that's where we really hope it can really drive things forward. Because even if you support Elton John or Lionel Richie, doesn't really. It's kind of something that's good to put on like your band CV in a sense, but it doesn't necessarily mean at all you're gonna get out there.
It's
really hard to figure out how the hell are you gonna get out there. I think that's where we really believe in our album, and we really believe that can make things for us.
You got a cold heart, but you got warm blood. So surrender. We're on the right side of the wrong road. So seduction. Got no idea, but how
what does creativity mean to you? In a cliche way, it's sort of, for me, it sort of says who you are, and who you are especially at that time. So I kind of like creativity, again in a cliche way, in terms of expression. And even now, when we were 21 or 22 and writing songs, you know, we might at that time have come off as, even if you can come off as a know-it-all or whatever, it's still a sort of expression of yourself at that time. And that's what I like about creativity. It sort of shows who you are. And it kind of also shows how we're all three very different characters.
Yeah.
And if people can, you could really like find a demographic for each kind of person we are, you know, and that's what's cool about writing and creating songs. So for me, that's what's cool about it.
I think with me, it's more like it's not necessarily just like my own creativity. I'd like be, because I think I'm just a music fan, like first, so I like just watching other people's creativity and like wondering how they think. Whereas like for myself, it's more like I think it's more just like like the feeling you get when being creative is essentially what creativity means, like in my head.
I think also like you know, if you do manage to, I mean, music's a tricky one because like unless you really make it, you're gonna bring in money. But until then, you're kind of it's a lot of a struggle, you know, because you're not going to get a salary, you know, there's no stability. But if you do succeed, then it's that song you wrote in your bedroom at 2 a.m, and you know it could be played all over the world. That can be very exciting.
Yeah.
With like someone could be singing your song down the line anywhere in the world, and yeah.
That's like a really cool, like when you look at it on like a grander spectrum.
That's why I think where we all just want to create, like if we succeed, it has to be because we wrote something. We really did it, you know. I don't know if that makes sense.
We didn't, like it would be so much worse in a sense if it was success just for the like cheesiest, most simple in its form, one hit kind of wonder thing that happened, rather than making it like a career spanning like back catalogue of just not like necessarily just like hits, but just like great songs, like great writing, like interesting riffs, like all this kind of stuff comes down to it. And I think like there's such a level of love that has to be like in creative, like the love of doing it, or if it gives you just this complete, like for me that I have this complete like state of euphoria when I play or write, like it's like I was saying earlier, it's like
I relate it also to books. When you're reading a book, you're essentially in the mind of the author. You know, someone's actually sat down and wrote this down, and you can literally go into their perspective. And that's what I love about creativity. And it feels the same thing in music. You know, you've come up with a song or whatever you've done, and then someone in their room is actually listening to what has gone on in your brain or whatever, and then maybe related to it, maybe liked it or not liked it. But there's a very cool, I'd say, human connection with that, and that's what I essentially like.
You'll never get out alive. You're in the thick of it now. You've been running all your life, and you're starting to drown. You're exhaling heaven on your text message screen. You're staring up into the sky. You're trying to dream. So what have you got to lose when you're screaming out? You're a satellite man
I know how I feel when I go to like any kind of gig, or like especially a music festival, and I go and watch a band I absolutely love, and I'm standing there like 50% of me is enjoying the shit out of this concert, but the other 50% is we could be that to someone else. Like it would be awesome, and I think we can do it. Like I've said it before, I think, but I like seeing someone become like who I was in the crowd at the time at like one of our gigs is the sickest feeling.
I mean, all I could say really is just do it. Just go for it. I mean, my view really is, like you really only have one life. I know that's a cliche, but you only get one time to do it. And yeah, if you really feel like you have something to contribute to society or to whatever it is, I would always recommend going out and doing it. Because I know it's again, but can you imagine if you think about some of the best creators in history, how close they were to not actually doing something? I know from like some of my favorite writers just how close they were from giving up, and then you don't know where it's going to lead, but I would always just say go for it. Be a little bit more fearless.
No, but I mean, and that's not like knocking people that do it. Like if that's what you're happy with, you're comfortable with, like crack on. But yeah, I just like, even when you get to the open mics here, like you see so many people.
Yeah, we are considered quite mean sometimes, because we're like, stop playing covers. Get up. They're like, I only have one song, but like, so play it.
Oh, but it's really bad. How do you know? Like,
even if it is bad, play
yeah,
it and write
I mean,
another
even
one.
it's like so many people could think their own song is bad, but it's actually like good or decent. Like whatever level of like opinion anyone in the room wants to like attach to it, and there's enough people who would like the ability to do it, and then there's so many people scared.
Covers actually is, I mean, it sounds brutal, but it actually does defeat the point of creativity.
Yeah.
Because someone else has created it. And also, yeah, I think maybe it is an insecurity why you go to a cover, I guess. But if you're gonna master a skill in any art form, I think, or try and get good at a skill, it'd have to be something creative. You wouldn't want to be if you're a piano player, you wouldn't want to be the best person who could play Mozart or something. You know, that wouldn't. I don't know. You want to create. Like some people love that. That's the thing. But
if anything in your head, you should be like as far-fetched as it could be, and you maybe won't even get there. Probably not. But like, how do I get better? How do I write better shit than Mozart? Like that's kind of a big way to look at it. But
we ain't doing that.
We're not doing that. We're not going to be Mozart. Like that's fine. But at least like striving for something like that or a level like that is better than not, and just
like you want to master a skill, and I think the most important skill we want to master is songwriting, and it's creating over you know, you only have so many hours in a day, and it's something that I battle with a lot in my head, because I'll be like, god damn, I want to improve as a guitar, so I want to improve as a piano player, but I've come to the realization, like if I'm gonna really try and master a skill, it's composition, because that's if I was to be part of a film score, or be part of a band, or be part of everything, I would have wanted to be the person who wrote the music. That's by far the most important. Because the best thing is if you do succeed, you can then hire the best guitarist, you can hire the best piano player. If it's insane, you can hire an orchestra. But that's I think we're all very similar like that. We really want to be the guys that created the sound or the mood.
That's definitely. I think we all have that, especially that in common. But then we all have it's really nice because how we say we're all very individual in this band as well as we are together, and so we all have those different things that we would like to be or like to strive for creatively. If we have the ability to be on big stages and keep building that up in time, it's for me, I'd love to be a lot more creative with how do you put that as not just a gig? How do you not just go on a stage and play your instruments and play your songs? How do you make that a show? How do you make that a spectacle in a sense? It should be larger than life in a way. People are paying money to come watch you essentially on a platform just playing some instruments. How do you
make that bigger.
And what if Bon Iver only did covers?
Right? No, just
We wouldn't have Bon Iver.
no, we wouldn't. Exactly.
Yeah. I think in Dubai, especially in such a young scene, there has to be criticism. There has to be, if we want like development of certain artists and stuff. But yeah, I don't know what that's
That's where I think, that's where in a way, like, as much as it's kind of shit to admit it in a way, it's like music in general has kind of fallen under this very like, oh, you can't like say this, you can't say that as a criticism thing, because it might offend someone and what they're just trying to do. Like if they go up on a stage and open mic and play a cover, like a lot of people will stand there and go, yeah, but they're getting up on the stage, and like respect to that, because I think it takes a lot of balls to get up on a stage and like kind of not necessarily maybe pour your heart out with covers into it like a song, but you can like your heart can still be on the line with fucking being that like invested emotionally into a song. But yeah, we would only ever criticize to try and better people, and we might not even be like we might not be even the right people to be able to say that, but like we're gonna do it anyway, I think, because we want to push people's like creativity here.
I don't know what you've seen, I don't know what you've heard, but you've been lied to, you've been lied to, and you've been hiding behind the barrel of your gun for far too long, for far too long. You've been taking all of my luxuries. I've been drinking the holy water, but I still don't feel free. Feel free. Oh, but if you don't know by now, I don't think you ever will. And if you don't know by now, I don't think you ever will. Making me the victim in all of this. I've been lied to, I've been lied to, and it's getting harder to breathe when you can't even see the world outside, the world outside. You've been taking all of my luxury. I've been drinking the holy water, but I still don't.
But that's where I guess that like the hope comes in, because it's you kind of have to have the hope and the belief that you can push at it and like get somewhere with it to not have that plan B, which if anything just inhibits the.
And I think it's also like a common thing that people don't realize, that even, it sounds a bit negative, but even if they don't do music, they can fail at other things also. Like just because if you say I'm not going to do music because I don't want to be a failure, you can fail at being a banker, you can fail at, there's so many aspects. If you do go towards a creative field, there are lots of ways that you can still make money.
Exactly. It doesn't just have to be like a pop star, right? You can be a producer, you can be an engineer. You
So
can be
like do what you love, enjoy it, but then we would always say keep learning and keep writing, because that is what people will value for, and where there's value you can pursue a career.
If anything, I don't know if this sums it up well, maybe it does for me, not for you two, I don't know, but like creativity is just having like the process that could be a complete grind, or it could be like a 10-minute like moment of wonder that happens sometimes, and it's like all of this that adds up to when you get to the end of like writing a song and it's finished, or recording it as a demo and you just listen to it like 5 times and you're so happy with it. like that's really rewarding. So creativity, I think for me is just it's a rewarding thing, getting through like that process to the end of a song, and it just gives me a lot of joy.
Well, we can give you what our dad considered creative, which was we used to put our music on our iPod when we were younger, and our dad used to take our iPods for runs and used to hear our music.
It was terrible.
It was shocking music, and he would come back and he'd go, "Was that yours? Was that yours?" And if it was a cover, he would say, "No, I'm not listening to that again." And then if it was just a G chord,
yeah, it was amazing.
but it was our G chord, he would go, "Brilliant, brilliant."
Yeah.
So for his, it was as long as it was unique and it was yours.
Even if it was shocking,
even if
so
it was
proud.
bad.
But if you were covering someone else, like that's what losers did in his eyes.
So to a large extent for us, I mean, it might sound bad, but it's not copying. It's doing, whether it's good or whatever, it's doing what you are in a simplistic way, and it will evolve as you evolve as a person.
Yeah.
Initially,
the more you do it, the more.
I guess for us, creativity is just doing what you are musically.
Yeah.
But we have hope as a band.
Yeah.
We have hope in ourselves.
But it also like, the hope is, things have to happen you can't just like blindly have hope. You can't just be like, you have to like make improvements and move forward. And
even if it's a small step, as like getting a new song structure down, or playing like a big gig for a band, like supporting a band you love, or anything like that, it always gives you that push for a while, which is amazing.
I think the other thing is you see, you will see musicians where you'll go and you don't really see something in them. So you're not trying to say, you should stop. But if you are someone that really thinks you have something that you could deliver, whatever it is, it could be in 10 years, it could be in 20 years, it could be the next year. If you just feel like there's this hidden potential, there's something you want to say to the world, like maybe push it a bit more, The tough thing is that you do get some musicians that you can see they're at the early stages, but they already think they're amazing. And then that's when you go, hey mate, maybe not. But if you think you have something to offer and okay, I'm at the early stages, understand that and know that maybe in 5 years when I learn the craft and I've written a lot, then I'll be able to really
there's also,
give off to what I
like
have
we
to
said
do.
before, there's so many, just because you're bad at singing or have like bad pitch does not mean that you don't know how to write, does not mean that you don't have a great ear for production. So that's something we kind of got because we just couldn't hit the notes. So then when we met Scott and Scott became the front man, we could really focus on what we were confident in, which was more like composition stuff, and that's when it kind of worked. And it was just because there's more options in music. You don't have to be the.
It works because I think we're all good, like writers, especially now after like.
But that's what, maybe where we're strongest is with songwriting. But we still have a lot to improve. We're the first to admit that.
And don't listen to the people that overcompliment you.
Yeah.
Use that line.
That's a good one actually.
Listen.
Like don't like if you are like looking.
But you also know yourself.
No, but I mean.
You know yourself if it's a good or a shit.
I know, but if you've got 20 people telling you like you just did a good job and you.
Yeah, you think you did a good job.
And you will then think you did a good job.
Because you want to hear that you did a good job.
What that is from a film, the worst 2 words in the English language are good job.
Isn't that from Whiplash?
Yes.
Social Network?
It's from Whiplash. Yeah, that I don't think you should ever be like settled on, especially in a creative field like music.
I think when you start doing something that you love, and it doesn't take other people, you don't need other people to encourage you. You don't need anyone else to come and tell you, hey, you're doing a good job or whatever. But when you find something that you love doing and you run with it and you take it upon yourself to follow that, and no matter how much you go and how much you keep doing, you're like, I've never reached my full potential. and you're always running towards that. I think that's what passion means to me.
If you want to do music, go full out. Don't do this backup gun. For me, it won't work. And you have a much bigger chance of failing in life if you have a backup gun, in my opinion. Lots of people will hate me for saying that, but I don't think you can succeed in music unless you do full time.
Look how much is a backup plan. School's a backup plan. Uni's a backup plan. Everything's a backup plan. Just go. But I think the important thing is to also know what part of that industry there is to make money. Like you could. That's why don't just sit back and hope on writing a crazy great album. There are other aspects that you can make money. You can give guitar lessons. You can become a producer. You can, learn lighting. There's so many things in the field that can really help you.
Yeah, just because you don't do those other things or not working towards a backup plan does not mean you can just sit. Then you deserve to fail. You have to work hard. And then it should work out. There will be somewhere in the industry where you can survive and make your living, surely. And it's just down to grind and make it happen.
And I guess also just I think that it's a lot of just make sure it's your own home. Don't be basing your success.
I don't think lots of parents would be happy anyway.
No, but I mean that's what I mean though.
When,
especially in a field like this anyway, you can't base your home off other people's degree of what you're doing. And the same thing with saying that don't settle for other people telling you you're doing a good job. At least think you're doing a good job.
Over 30 seconds. With hope, I would just say you have to. There's so many areas in music that you can succeed in. That you don't just have to. If you're flawed in one area or not talented in one sense, doesn't mean you can't achieve in the other aspects. It's there's so many fields within music that you can succeed. So if you have a passion for it, you have to go for it, but you have to go 100%.
They definitely have it, and I've seen it move even beyond than just the regular music. Whether it's writing their own songs. I've actually been with them and heard them actually say, you know what, we don't want to play what we played last year. We don't want to play what we played 2 weeks ago. We want to grow. We don't want to be known for just one song. We don't just want to be known for Lie to Me or any of their other first songs, Mr. Satellite Man. They would always be like, you know what, we have more to offer. There's definitely more potential in us. And I would see them, being like, okay, cool, we did a great song, but now what? What's the next step? And I think them always chasing that and them always running after that thing of, I want to be better than what I was last week. I think that passion really says a lot about the band. And I think they've done a great job so far and can't wait to see what lies ahead for them.